going on, Jeromes? We are 7 weeks into the National Football League season, and maybe it's too early, but do not care at all. We want to look back at some of our preseason prognostications and predictions and see where we were right and where we were very, very wrong. First up, the Greasy Grimy Green Bay Packers. We were correctamundo on that one because we saw Aaron Rodgers, the alleged back-to-back NFL MVP, losing Devontae Adams, a changeover and all that stuff. It's like we thought that the defense would be good. Well, maybe we were wrong there. But it's like all of a sudden, you pay your quarterback $50 million, you bring in some young receivers, you're going to move to being a running team. 3-4, just slip and fall, and they can't get up. They lost to the Giants, the Jets, and the Commies in 3 straight games, and they're going to lose 4 in a row because they're going to lose to the Bills as well. So, feels good. It feels good to be right about that one, even though every single national publication had the Packers at least in the top 5, if not higher, buying into that Aaron Rodgers hype, even though it's clear that he's mentally checked out. It's clear that he's just in it for the money and basically just sticking it to the Packers, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And also, I do think legitimately the Packers maybe win one game in their next 5, so they could end up being 4-8. You hate to see it. Hate to see it, man. Next up, the Browns. So we were right about the Browns in that this is going to be a tough season. All the drama, all the Deshaun Watson stuff, I think that it certainly weighs on the team. And even though the Browns, they do have a talented roster overall, they just haven't gotten it together. And I do think that Kevin Stefanski very easily could be out after this season, which kind of sucks because, they won 10 games, went to the playoffs his first season, 2020, as I get choked up. Is that you, Rona? But... And it kind of sucks. For Stefanski because they won double-digit games as well as went to the playoffs his first season, 2020. But they're 2-5. They're losing close games. And I was told by Vikings fans it's better to lose close games than win close games. It's kind of weird, man. But I do think that Stefanski's on thin ice there. We were also right about the Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim, Inglewood. You know what I mean? It's a joke on Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, whatever. But the Rams, we're clearly going to take a step back. And I did not buy that Stafford was going to be in the MVP conversation. I did not buy that the Rams were going to be, top 5, top 3, could potentially repeat. But they're 3-3, huge step back from the Super Bowl. Their offensive line has been in shambles ever since Big Whit retired, as well as they lost starting left tackle Joseph Noteboom. And defensively, it just isn't there. Aaron Donald is a year older. Jalen Ramsey is still Jalen Ramsey, but that's really it. It is. And also losing of the brain trust of Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips, that certainly does matter. It does. And they're having issues with Cam Akers. Allen Robinson has been a bust of a signing so far. So, I mean, it's not looking good in Tinseltown as of right now. Next up. Actually, let's do the wrongs, and then we'll go back to the rights. So, wrong, Seattle Seahawks. I predicted that the Seahawks would be biblically bad. Like 1-16 bad after they got rid of Russell Wilson. Turns out it was a good decision because Gino taking it back to West Virginia, Mountain Mama, 4-3, leading the NFC West, getting it done. Rashad Penny unfortunately lost with the injury, but Kenneth Walker, the rookie from Michigan State, is getting it done. Tariq Woolen, the 5th-round pick, the physical freak, 6'4" and change out of UTSA, looks like the bargain draft pick of the year. Even though their defense is still ass, thank you. I think the Seahawks could be kind of interesting because they can put up points. Now, we'll see what happens with DK's injury. That's really unfortunate, but Lockett's been dealing with injuries of his own, but I mean, Seattle can put up points. They can run the ball, which is what Pete wants to do, and we'll see, man. I mean, they're the 3 seed in the NFC right now. It's crazy. We were wrong about the Broncos. Now, I thought that Russ actually had something left in the tank, and this could be a debacle. Like, this could be George Payton's folly, just giving $250 million for a quarterback who's clearly past the sell-by date. Also, I want to know about the Russell Wilson Subway sandwich, the Danger Witch. I mean, come on. Broncos country, let's die. I mean, this is just bad. Absolutely bad. But they're 2-5. They're the seller of the AFC West, and I don't see it getting better. And they could actually be sellers at the trade deadline. Like, they might move Jerry Jeudy, they might move Bradley Chubb. So this is just a debacle. Just absolutely disgusting for the Broncos. Sticking in the AFC West, the Chargers. So I actually thought that the Chargers would step up and be up there with the Bills and the Chiefs. Maybe not so much because, the Chargers are the AFC Vikings, as always, and they make it harder on themselves than it needs to be. Herbert has been fantastic at times. He's been kind of meh at times. And, yes, injuries to Rashawn Slater, the left tackle. Joey Bosa was dinged up. Keenan Allen's missed some time, and also it looks like Mike Williams may miss some significant time as well. So the injury bug is biting them, but they should have been better than this. And, speaking of which, they got the bank thing put on by the Seahawks. So it's just been really rough overall for the LA teams. A season that had a lot of high hopes. Next up, we were wrong about the Giants, the G-Men. Now, I love me some Brian Daboll. I wanted him here in Minnesota if the Vikings didn't get Kevin O'Connell. But Daboll has done phenomenal things with the Giants. They're running the ball with Saquon. Daniel Jones, they're sort of limiting his mistakes. That defensive line is legitimate. The O-line is starting to get things, turn things around as well. 6-1, second best record in football. The only bad beat is they're in the division with the team with the best record at 6-0 with the Eagles. But 6-1 to 6-1, man. They are absolutely getting it done. Fun times for the Giants. Next up, number 5. I was wrong about the Jets. Jets. They're 5-2, including 4-0 on the road. Highlighted by that win in Lambeau, which I don't know, it doesn't look that impressive anymore because the Packers slip and fall and they can't get up. Now, I did think that my guy, Rob Saleh would get that defense together, but Quinnen Williams has been a stud. Sauce Gardner's already looking like a top 10 corner, if not higher. Absolutely just coming in, destroying things. Zach Wilson, it's sort of like the Tebow offense. Like, Zach Wilson isn't doing much through the air. You can see why Elijah Moore's a little bit frustrated, but, they're getting it done on the ground. Unfortunately, sucks that they probably lost Breece Hall for the season with an ACL, but they're physical up front. They're getting it done, and, it's interesting, man. It's really because the Buffalo Bills, and then you got the Giants and the Jets. Like we said, New York is the state of football right now. Well, New York, New Jersey. Lastly, we were wrong on the Lions. I thought that the Lions would actually have a pulse, man. They're an extremely talented football team, both sides of the ball, especially in the trenches, but they're 5-1. They've lost 4 in a row, and Dan Campbell, he as motivating as he is, like he makes mistakes as a head coach. He doesn't make good decisions in game management, and it's like they had the strength coach take over as the head coach. That's basically what it is. Dan Campbell's super likable, but I actually think that he might be the next head coach fired. After a year and a half, I think that he may be punted by GM Brad Holmes. Next up, two last things. We were right about the Panthers. So despite the Tampa Bay win, PJ Walker, dynamite. So we knew that this was going to be a debacle. You have, what's hilarious? You have Baker Mayfield, you have Sam Darnold, 2 of the top 3 picks of that draft, and you're starting an undrafted former XFL quarterback in PJ Walker. Yes, injuries played in, but also performance-wise. But Matt Rule's already been fired. They're already selling off before the deadline. McCaffrey is gone. Robbie Anderson's gone. And even though they said, we're not trading Brian Burns or Derek Brown or J.C. Horn, or DJ Moore, the price just hasn't been met yet. So we'll see. I think that they're still going to move another significant player before the deadline. Could be Brian Burns, fantastic edge rusher in Carolina, but yeah, we were right about this one. And hey, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, come on down. Lastly, number 5, we were right about the Minnesota Vikings. That's right. The last 2 years underachieved. Last season, 8-9. Gave it away. Now very close games. Now the Vikings are flipping the script. They're winning those close games, and they got hot. They got attitude as they're switching up. They're learning the new offense. They're learning the new defense. Special teams has been solid. So I think the Vikings have both been overachieving as well as we were correct about them. I think that the Vikings have a chance the rest of the way to really make some noise. They have the most separation of any division leader in the NFL as of right now. They're the only team in the NFC North with a winning record at 5-1. So I think the Vikings, they got a lot of momentum. They got a lot of good vibes and good vibrations. I think they got good leadership. And of course, they got that skill. So I think that the Vikings are going to continue to surprise people. I think they will easily take the North. I think that they will be the 2 seed in the NFC, if not higher. Can we get Philly to stumble once or twice? Because we have to overcome the head-to-head as well. But we were absolutely correct in Mundo about the Vikings. So that's it. It takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. We were wrong on a couple of these, but we were absolutely freaking right on 5 of these, man. So let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Must support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.